So if we drill down a little bit into the system, going round, I've numbered the images to easy to follow. Here we have an image of a module sitting at the end of the house, which is attached to a pressure room. And in this particular system, the exhaust is running through the top of the house, is running into this pressure area, and then it goes down into the scrubber and out through the top. So when we move to image number 2, this is a shot from inside the pressure room. I think you can perhaps see on the top left the images of the fans. So the air is coming down there, going down into the box, going underneath, and then on the right of there, we see the shower section where the water will come through the packing material. So the air comes up through this legged area into the packing material, and then below that through the packing material into the sprinkler section. And what we have here is a series of piping that is housing sprinklers, and the sprinklers spray the treated water across the packing material. That drops down into the shower section. The contact with the polluted air and the wash water happens during the packing material stage of the scrubbing process. Then the air comes up through the sprinkler, out through the top, through what we call the drop catcher, which is just basically an exhaust filter that allows us to contain any moisture or droplets that may escape into the atmosphere. And then on the bottom left, we've got an image of the technical room, which is where the mechanism for controlling the pumping of the wash water around the system is housed. Moving on, this is again drilling down into the guts of the scrubber. I think it makes it clearer here. This is the table area. The arrows show the direction of the air coming in underneath the table. They will then be forced up because the table is in a closed area, forced up through the packing material and out through the top. So where we have the drop catcher, sprinklers in the middle, and then the washing table and supports underneath it. So as we break down. Going across, we have an image of the technical area. This is what we could refer to as a skid. It's an engineering frame. In commonplace today, these systems are fairly standard. So in here we have the pipe that pulls the water out through the scrubber pit. There's a filter that is obviously retaining any dirt that gets into the washing water to protect the pump, and then the water goes along the pump. The modern systems today are fairly self-regulating, so they'll have a series of sensors, conductivity, which is measuring it's basically the electrical charge within the salts, the positive and negatives, and also measuring the levels of pH, the acidity or the alkalinity of the wash water. And on top of that, we also would include a pressure sensor. It's very important to be able to maintain how clean the scrubber is, so that the pressure sensor is checking the back pressure in the air. If it gets high, then it's usually an indicator that the packing material is getting blocked and it needs to be washed out. But on the whole, these systems are fairly self-regulating, because what happens is, as the system detects that the conductivity is getting high, in other words, the level of nitrogen in the wash water is getting high, or the pH is going out of its optimal zone, and what happens is the system feeds off a level of the water into a waste tank and then replenishes the water with fresh and fresh acid, if it's in the case of an acid scrubber. So it's very self-regulating. On the whole, needs very little maintenance. An important point, and an innovation today is obviously the use of data. It's very important that we can manage these systems and have a good understanding that they're performing well. And as such, most modern systems today will have the ability to connect either to a computer on site, or preferably to the cloud, where data is stored and reports can be made to be shared with to analyse yourself as a farmer, or perhaps even to be shared to the authorities to say that your air abatement system is working in accordance to the regulations laid down in your permit.